I was on the train going to training somewhere. Yeah, I was, and I got a message off Andy Bakewell, and he just messaged me and asked how I was, and he'd spoken to me a couple of times before. We'd had general chats and stuff. I've known him for a while, and he said, I might have a fight here for you in August if you want. July it was, sorry. And I said, oh, is it bare knuckle? Because he was running BFBA. And I was like, Andy, I said, I don't know, mate. I think I'm done fighting. So I haven't decided what I'm wanting to do. And he sort of explained what was going to happen briefly. So he said about the BKFC taking over and starting in the UK. It was all hush-hush at this point. And it's still, I was excited by it, but I still didn't know whether I wanted to do it because I was still in the mindset of being upset and I was still quite low. I was trying to pull myself back together. So I said I'll have a think about it. So I went and trained. I got back later on, and I told my missus, I was like, I've had a sort of not a fight offer, but someone he's offered me a potential, and she said that I should seriously consider it. And I was like, oh, I don't know. It's like I'll sleep on it. So then I spoke to my coach and I said, "What would you think?" Now this is Trident now, so I was under a gym, so it wasn't like when I fought BKB. I was sort of doing that for myself. And
yeah.
So I said to my coach, "What do you think about me fighting bare knuckle, just to get a bit more experience again and just trying to kill these nerves?" I started putting things in place then, so I had therapy with Rob in place. A lad who I'm still working with today as well, Chris Redmond, he does all my strength and conditioning for me. I put up a little thing on the Instagram story saying I was looking for an S&C coach. I've never done it, ever. Never done weight training in my life. And he messaged me saying, what are you looking for? And I basically explained to him, but I said, I'm within a really tight budget and I know how expensive these things can be, but he decided to sponsor me as well. Now he's a member of Trident. And what he's done for me as well, like I was just like a lad fighting out. Now I'm like, especially now, like for this next fight, I'm an athlete. Like I'm conditioned to fight, and he's been absolutely brilliant. He's changed everything. Like I've smashed through all my personal bests over the last 12, 18 months lifting weights, which I never thought I'd do, and I'm strong, I'm fast. So he done wonders for me. So he was then put in place. And then Graham, who's now my boxing coach, he's the boxing coach at Trident. So I started working closely with him, and he just has changed my striking, and my boxing has gone to a different level. Like I can't explain how good that guy is. I've worked with loads of coaches, like I've said in the past, but I click with him so well, and I can box now. Like I can box. I've got my hands. I posted a video earlier today, and the difference. I look back at the old one, like I've still got them on my phone, like when I'm hitting pads like 4 years ago and stuff, and it's like a completely different fighter. I'm sharp, I'm fast, I'm powerful, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. Like he's done wonders with me striking. So yeah, all them sort of things were getting put in place, and Harry, who's the head coach at Trident, I said to him about this bare knuckle fight. And he said, I think you should go for it, mate. Just get some more experience so you feel comfortable again, and then we can look at MMA. And I was like, right, okay. So I got the okay from the coach, but I was still thinking about it. I was like, still not 100%. So I had a few moments to myself. I sat down and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Like, why not? Let's give it another go. So I got back in touch with Andy Bakewell, and I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And he said it's going to be in London, in July. And I was like, "All right, okay." But I didn't know the scale of it. At this point, I didn't know it was going to be
at that point as well. Did you know you'd be fighting Brett or?
Well, it wasn't meant to be Brett at first. So I was matched with Jack Draper first. But Jack's, I think, if I remember rightly, this might not be correct. I think his coach was away for the date because they moved the show from July to August because they were putting Michael Venom Page on as the main event, and he couldn't do July. I think that's the reason. I might not be right there, so don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But Jack's coach couldn't do the new date, so I was like, yeah. And to be fair, me and Jack speak quite a bit.
Yeah.
He messaged me and said straight away, listen, my trainer can't do the new date, and I'm not going to fight with my trainer there. And I said, mate, I wouldn't. I understand. If Graham wasn't there in my corner, I wouldn't fight. And so yeah. So then Andy Bakewell said, I've got another potential opponent. Brett said he was an unlicensed boxer. He's a game guy. I think he said he'd had 18 or 19 unlicensed boxing fights, a couple of bare knuckle pit fights, I think. So I sent it over to my coach, and he was like, yeah, it's fine. We'll train for that. And then I found out it was fucking Wembley Arena. I was like, and then I found out it was MVP and Mike Perry on the main event. And I was like, I thought I was going to fight on a little small show, ease himself back in. And it was the biggest one they've ever done. I was like, but Joe, what? I was ready for it. And I trained really well for that. Started putting things in motion, and I was ready. And Brett gave me a good go. He come out firing. He was swinging, but I knew I could beat him. I knew I could wear him down. I was. It's mad as well because that version of me last August is nothing compared to where I am now.
It's going to be exciting, mate. It's going to be exciting. And obviously, in the Brett fight, August last year, and Brett, he comes out on fire, doesn't he? Every fight, every fight I've seen.
We knew he'd do it. We knew he'd sort of launch himself at me. So it's sort of like put up with that for a few, like 20, 30 seconds, and then start imposing yourself on him. And he tired very quickly. His cardio just wasn't there. I think I caught him with a few shots, a couple of uppercuts. And I think when he was going to come out for round 3, and I think his heart just went a little bit with it. But I think he was tired, and I just think he didn't have any more left in the tank to fight. I think he said there was a problem with his eyesight and stuff, but I only saw that fight going one way if he carried on anyway. I think I was coming into the fight more.
Yeah, I think to be fair, you were massively in control of the fight throughout. Like I said,
it didn't hurt. He didn't hurt me, mate. He landed a couple of shots, but I didn't feel in trouble at any time. I felt like I withstood everything he threw at me, and I think it just mentally broke him down a little bit because he couldn't get me out of there quick like he does with a lot of the guys he fights.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to discredit him at all. I don't mean that to be disrespectful. I'm just sort of saying I feel like I was growing into that fight more and more.
Yeah,
and I think once he started really tiring and he was sort of gassing and stuff, and he realised he wasn't going to knock me out, I think I would have stopped him in the 3rd or 4th round. But it went the way it went.
It's the biggest thing. I met Brett a couple of months back, and it's the biggest thing that we spoke about. And the first thing that I spoke to him about was cardio, and
got to be fit.
It had just been in the back of my head from your fight, and to be fair to Brett, he was like, no, do you know what? I've learned from experiences. Obviously, your fight, a massive one, and yeah, he was sort of really focused. I feel bad in a way because I think I was one of the few people that saw him in the time before he was then recalled back to prison. But hopefully, end of the year he'll be out. And
has he gone back again? Has he?
I think he's been recalled, mate. Yeah, something. But I think he said to me that it should be the 27th of December, when he should be out and done.
He needs to start behaving himself.
Needs to be a good lad. He does, mate. And that, to be fair, that's one of the things that myself and a couple of other people had said. He really is coming across like a different person to how he was, you know, prior with the whole Decker, and there was the Dougie Decker hype going on at the time, and obviously Brett was a part of that. But I think to be fair, he came out, he seemed a lot more humble, level-headed, and in meeting him in person and speaking to him as well, he was just focused on wanting to improve and get back into the fight game, basically. But I'm sure, you know, respect to Brett. He'll get out and he can move forward and move his whole life forward in the right way, you know.
Yeah, I hope
Stay
so.
out of bother. Stay out of bother. You know, stay out of bother.
He needs to just straighten himself up a bit, and I'd be more than, if he wanted to come down and train with me, mate, I'd be more than happy to help him with some training and stuff, and show him some bits, do some rounds with him if you want some rounds, anything like that.
Yeah,
I've got no hard feelings whatsoever against the guy. Do you know what I mean? I think he wanted a rematch with me. I'd oblige him. Like I've said, I'd oblige him. I don't think BKFC will do it, because I've moved on to other fights now and stuff.
Yeah.
But
no, that's
I hope he can sort himself out, mate. He seems,
me too, massively.
Under the surface, I think there's a good guy in there somewhere. He just needs to stay out bothering her.
I had a couple of hours with him, and we spoke a lot, and yeah, I could see that there is a decent guy in there. You know, I think he's one of them where if he can control his own demons, and he needs to just sort of go, right, this has been me, but this is going to now be me from today moving forward, you know. And I really hope. It's not nice for anyone, you know.
He needs to stay off that YouTube drama as well. Just fuck all that off. It's just nonsense, all of it.
Like, yeah. Just focus on himself and fight his own demons and move forward. But no, I'm sure Brett would massively appreciate that, mate. The gesture as well in terms of the training.
Look, it's in my nature, mate. Like I said, my day job, I'm a care support worker. I work with young adults, children with learning difficulties, autism, ADHD, mental health problems, different disabilities. Like, it's in my nature to help people. I'll help anyone I can. I don't do things for anything back. So if I can help anyone in any sort of aspect of their life, I will. I'm all for helping people, because I'd like to think if I was in the sort of situation where I needed help, there'd be people out there that do the same. So I'm one of them. I treat people how I want to be treated, and I've always prided myself in being like as good a person as I can be. And it's like, again, going back, I repeat myself a little bit, but the people that I've got surrounding me, my missus, the group of friends that I've got around me are brilliant. The best I could ask for. My family's amazing. My brother, my parents and stuff. And then my training partners, like the Team Aspinall, the guys up there that I started training with, they're the top heavyweights in the world. Like,
yeah,
Tom's fighting for the interim world title in 2 weeks, you know what I mean, in the UFC. And then all the guys up there, like, high level guys, man. Like, Ben Francis, Joffrey Holton, Phil DeFries, Mick Parkin, Jamie Acton, Pasha, Mindy Gave. I'm trying to not forget anyone. They're just high level guys, the whole team. Yeah. Andy Aspinall, Tom's dad, one of the best people I've ever spoke to, and like just very humble and nice people. And for me to be surrounded by people like that when I can be is amazing. And then again with the Trident team as well, and all my coaches and teammates there, there's so many good people around me. So if I can offer something back to anyone that's helped me, I will. And anyone that needs a hand with anything, or even just chats and stuff, I'm all ears, man. I'm all ears to help people.
No, massive respect, mate. And I think to work in the sector that you're working in as well, and like you say, you know, it's not a massively paid job, but the job satisfaction that you must get from that as well, I can imagine that being massive. You know, seeing people and helping.
It's a bit crazy because, like, when I tell people, it's like, oh, you're a professional fighter, And then I'm like a care worker. It's like the opposite end. It's like fighting people, looking after people. But they transition well into each other because there's a lot of qualities from fighting training
Yeah,
I take into my workplace. So the discipline and how to speak to people and how to conduct myself as a human being. I pride myself on as well. I like to come across as polite and approachable and stuff. So that translates into my working life and everyday life from fighting as well.
definitely. Like I said at the start, from what I've seen from you and the way you come across on video and everything, is you sort of get an idea of how you expect to sort of meet the person and how the person will be. And to be fair, mate, you've always come across as very level-headed, intelligent, and I just didn't envisage us speaking and had been told about a sort of 7-year battle against addiction or anything along those lines. But I mean, that's got to be a massive credit again as well to your mum and dad to uproot and move you for the best for yourself and your brother as well. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy, isn't it, how these things in life unfold and happen. But the team around you, mate, is huge. And I think if you've got that, it doesn't need to be a big circle either. Just
No,
a great circle around you, and it can transform your life, can't it? Totally, massively. Wayne Morgan. So
yes,
obviously,
that was the next one. Yeah, so
yeah. So obviously, Brett fight last year ended up being stopped. So then you were waiting, but pretty much then for the next BKFC, was it, or was it the case that you'd done any other bits in between, done any MMA or anything?
no, so I was actually due to fight on the Newcastle card in November the year before. I was meant to fight a guy called Matt Shipping. So we were matched. No, I wasn't originally. I've got that wrong. I was meant to fight a guy called Fergal Alumbi. I took the fight on 3 weeks' notice. I was training, so it wasn't like I was going to step into
Yeah,
a fight not ready. I was training just in case because I know people drop out in these bare knuckle fights all the time. So I took the fight, and then he dropped out. I was like, "What?" Like a few days later, I was like, "Oh." So then I think they'd offered me 3 or 4 different guys, and I said yes to all of them. And then the first one dropped out after a day. The second one dropped out after 2 days, and then Matt Shipping accepted. Now Matt Shipping is a massive, massive man. I think he's 6'8", and I don't know if you know who he is. He's got a physique like Anthony Joshua.
he's heavy as well, though, isn't he? He's like
Very
six.
100,
Yeah,
135 kilo or 140 kilo or something.
yeah,
He's a massive bloke. I think he's a Thai kickboxer slash bodybuilder. So, but I think he trains under Andy Bakewell. So
right.
I thought this is a cert. Got to fight. On the way up to Newcastle on the train, and Andy messages me when we're in York saying Matt's had to drop out. He's not well, and I was like, oh, literally like an hour and a half away. What's going to happen? And he's like, I just won't be able to get anyone else in now because you have to have your bloods and your medical. And I was like, fuck, again. But to be fair to BKFC and Andy, they paid me half my purse for the inconvenience.
Okay.
So that was really good of them.
Yeah,
Only because it was on the day. If it was any time before, I don't think they can do it. But because it was on fight day, they were like,
that says a lot as well, though. The fact that they did that, especially if it's something that you weren't expecting. I think.
exactly, yeah. So I
Yeah.
was made up. So then they rescheduled me to fight Matt again in Leeds. And it was plain sailing. We were going through training camp. I think it was end of April Leeds. I can't remember the date. But a week before, he dropped out. I was like, here we go again. And Andy said, I've got a lad here called Wayne Morgan. I know Wayne. I knew Wayne. Previously, we'd spoke quite a few times. And he said, Wayne will step in. So I was like, yeah, I'll fight him. We're friends, but we'll fight. And And I was just happy that Wayne took the opportunity to step in and fight me. There's a big size difference. I was like, I think I'm just under 6'5", and I think Wayne was 5'11", 5'10". So there's a big height difference in that, and the fight was only going to go one way in my eyes. And it sort of went how I thought it was going to. He was game though. He had the go, mate, and he threw at me. Wayne's a tough bloke. Wayne's got some good fights behind him. People don't realise Wayne's done well with glove, done licensed. I believe he won a title in the pit. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe he won a title in the pit. People that don't know the pit's the hay bales, sort of the old school bare knuckle way of fighting. But
8x8, yeah.
Small, yeah.
I had Christian Robertson. With Spartan, who's obviously they're renowned for the pit fights, and
they are, mate. I like watching it. I think
the great events. Yeah,
Christian seems like a cool guy as well. So
sounds. I went to the last event at Fight Fest, and then I know the next event I want to say is December the 2nd, but they've moved to Sheffield, so they're in an arena in Sheffield. I think it's a nice arena technically, but it'd be a nice, real good setup. And to say, I love as well, as much being a fan of the sport, I love to see these platforms growing and building, and it's amazing. I've been really blessed to be involved with Simon and YouTube Wars, and
are you involved? Are you? Simon's.
No, I'm good pal with Simon, and
he's a really good bloke.
100%.
Yeah, he's buying tickets off me for this fight.
I am going with him. Yeah.
Are you? Oh, sound.
Yeah, I'm with him. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Thank you, mate.
There's a few of us coming down, mate. I want to say, top of my head, there'll be Simon, his partner Claire. I think Video Craig's coming down with Chrissy.
Oh, he's a great guy as well. I like him.
Funny guy, great to be around.
He's class, mate. Yeah.
There's myself. I want to say as well another pal called Levi. He's got a YouTube channel. So there's going to be a good crowd there, mate. So yeah, it's us on your table as such. So
I'll have the YouTube guys backing me at the fight.
It'll be quality, yeah, it'll be quality, and I think it'll be great as well, because it'll be fantastic to be able to pop in and actually, hopefully, get to see you as well.
I'll make it a goal of mine to come and see you after the fight. I'll have a look.
Oh, mate, yeah. No, absolutely.
I'll try and dot round and see who I can find there. It's a lot of people there, so I'll do my best to
look for the Mohican, and you'll
stand
out. No, I'm really looking forward to it, mate. Simon's a top guy. I saw his first event was there at that one, and then the last event last weekend. Again, brilliant. And the other angle as well, for yourself, mate, going into this, obviously you've got a massive fight again now, so you're 2-0 with BKFC. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you about this guy, Sir Faulkner, the chap who you're fighting, and this one, people as well. BKFC 55. It's November the 18th, Leeds, Saturday. So that's going to be a cracking event, mate. The fight card anyway is fantastic.
Oh, that's unreal. It's a really good card.
Yourself and this guy. I don't want to murder his first name. I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it
Aggie?
Aggie. What can you tell us about this guy? I know that he's a tough opponent, isn't he? But
he is very tough, mate. He trains with Danny Christie. So obviously, without saying anything else, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
I'm actually good mates with him. So again, I'm fighting a mate. But what happened was I was due to fight someone else, and they got injured. So Aggie was offered the fight. We spoke a little bit. I wasn't sure whether my coach would take him as an opponent on the basis that he was very, very different to the guy I was meant to be fighting.
Okay.
And a lot of the prep that I've been doing was based on a completely different style of fight. My sparring, my conditioning. So I said to Andy Bakewell, I'll have to obviously run it by my coach. I'll fight. Like, people don't need to worry about me saying like no to a fight. I'm all for fighting anyone, but now I have to go through my coach. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I'll always go through my coach. So we had the discussion about it overnight and stuff, and yeah, it's. I wanted to step up, and it definitely is. He's a very, very good fighter. He's very fit. He's very muscular, very explosive. I'm bigger than him. I think I'm 15 or 20 kilo heavier than him. And I'm, like I said, I'm 6'4", 6'5". I think he's 5'11". So I've got the size on him, but he's fast. He's powerful. He fought on the Newcastle card last year and he won first round stoppage. So it's a tough fight. I think he's had other bare knuckle fights previous to that and won all of them as well. So it's going to be my hardest fight since Dan Podmore, easily.
Can imagine.
But that's what I wanted. Like, I want to test myself. I'm at a level where now I want to be testing myself against good fighters, and I know what my ability is. I'm sparring some of the best guys in the world. Never
going to say you've got some hell of fighters around you anywhere with it, like you said earlier, and who you train with and you're sparring with and whatnot.
Yeah. I spar Ricky Gorman as well, Tyson Fury's cousin. Do you know who Nathan Gorman, the British heavyweight boxer?
Yes,
it's his little brother. So I spar him as well. Very, very good. Very promising. Yeah. He's going to be one of the next big things in heavyweight boxing in the UK. He's a name I think he's 25 or 26. So in the next 2 years, people will probably hear a lot more about him. He's only had one pro fight. He won by stoppage in his first fight against the Bulgarian champion. So he's one to watch. Very, very good. So I've got him for sparring. Then obviously the guys up at Aspinall, I get up when I can. I haven't been up for a couple of weeks because of my work situation and the flooding and stuff. So I'm hoping to get up this week if I can. But like I said, that I'm now sparring. I'm never going to fight anyone as good as the guys I've sparred.
No,
like that's the way I see it. Like, and that's not disrespecting any opponent. There's just no one going to be like the guys that I'm doing my training with, because it's the best heavyweight team in the world. It's not even the best heavyweight team in the UK.
That's got to be the best way for you, Rob, as well, in order for you to sort of be able to grow yourself as well and achieve your own ambitions and aspirations.
Oh, absolutely.
You're much better surrounding yourself with that than guys who you're knocking out for fun, and you need to be challenging and improving, don't you, all the time in this game?
I would rather fight really, really good fighters and say, for instance, not win the fight than fight a journeyman that I'm going to knock out in 10 seconds. It's pointless. Yeah. I'd rather test myself. I know with Aggie, I'm testing myself against one of the top guys in the BKFC UK. I think he is. He's very good. But the only way I'm going to progress myself is fighting people like him. I'm more than capable of winning the fight. I know I am. I know what my level is. But he'll feel the same. He'll probably look at me and think, yeah, I can beat Rob. But that's why we're fighting each other. It's going
to be a cracking fight, isn't it? I mean, like you say, the guy, I know his name. I've never seen him fight before. I will have a look if he's been on before. I will watch that as well. And
he beat Daniel Robson, I think, who's fought on BA before. I think he beat him. I think he was 3-1 or 4-1. So the lad he beats good, mate. That's what I mean. He's handy. Yeah. He's handy. But like I said, I know my level now. My level is miles above what it was even 12 months ago. Well, even 5-6 months ago. This year, since I started training with the guys I'm training with, I'm miles better than what I was, and I'm hoping that comes out in the fight. In fact, I'm hoping it's the wrong way. It will. Like, there's no way it won't. So literally, the best man will win on the night. Aggie's good, I'm good, and it's going to be a great
cracking fight.
the winners will be the fans. It's
Yeah.
not just our fight; the whole card is stacked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just going to be a good night of fights, and I'm sure me and Aggie will put on. I've said to Aggie, this is like a dark horse for a fight of the night. This fight, I've said we've really got ourselves a good fight, you and me, and that's what they want. That's what they want to see. The promoters, the guys in America, they want to see two guys that'll have a war. I can take a hit, he can take a hit. I can give a hit, he can give a hit. He's probably more explosive than me, but I'm bigger. I think I've got more power in my shots. Maybe he's got a load of power. I'm just guessing. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to be your biggest own. The biggest fan has to be yourself, I think, as well in the fight.
Yeah, I back myself now. Like I never used to. That was a problem. I never used to back myself. I always used to doubt myself.
Yeah.
But now I back myself. And not cocky, not overconfident. I believe in myself. And that's all down to the people I've got making me believe in myself. Because they've sort of what's the right word to use? They've sort of given me that belief that I didn't have, and I think it's going to take me far. I think I've got all the attributes to do well in the BKFC. I feel at home with them. I feel like I can really progress eventually to a world title with them. I do see that in my future with them.
So, Rob, just to pick up then, obviously, this Aggie Faulkner fight is going to be one of many massive fights on the card. Anybody that's not yet got tickets for that, it's November the 18th, Leeds. Can people get in touch with you? Can they, socials or...
I need to start showing the promotion that I can sell tickets, because I'm not a ticket seller, mate. I haven't got like a big circle of people around me. I've just got sort of the bare minimum that I want. So I've got a lot of people on my social media and stuff, but it's not people that I sort of know at a good enough level to go buy a ticket off me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sort of like, I've got quite a small circle of people I'd call friends, and that's how I like it though, mate. Like, but yeah, I need to start showing them that I can sell some more tickets. So that's why I'm very grateful that Simon's decided to come and get a load off me for all use on shows I can shift a couple.
It's going to be a cracking event. It's really nice as well for us to be able to sort of get the message out to people, because a lot of people would just head straight to the website or the ticket booking, office, and it's always best, guys, and I say it time and time again, to get in touch with the fighters. And
I don't even want to do it for commission. Yeah. I don't care about commission. Like, you only get commission when you sell like a certain amount anyway. So I just want to be able to show them that I can shift some, because that's how I get more fights. If I can sell like 20 tickets or so, it'll show them, he's worth putting on because he's covering his cost.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I'm not, then unless I'm still quite early with it. I'm not a big name by any means. No. I'm not like a Danny Christie or an Anthony Holmes sort of level. They probably shift hundreds of tickets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I can shift a few, it'll keep getting me fights. 2024, though, the plan, I'm going to go back to MMA after this one. I'm just going to give it another go, because I haven't fought MMA since South Africa, and I feel like I've trained so well in that as well. So I just need to do a little bit more work on my grappling. And like I said, I've signed a pre-contract agreement with Hexagon in France, who are live on TNT Sports. So they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'll still fight bare knuckle. I'll still fight for BKFC. Just when I want some big fights, and when a decent fight that interests me comes up next year, I'll have a look at it. I think me and Jack Draper will probably end up fighting at some point, because we've been matched. We were meant to fight.
Be a good matchup, to be fair, yourself and Jack Draper.
Yeah, very.
Really good match. Yeah.
I know Jack lost his first fight, but I think Jack's one of the best heavyweights in the UK. His boxing level's unreal. Like, again, I'm pally with Jack. I think he's a top bloke as well. But I think that fight will happen somewhere down the line. I think we both quite keen on it as well.
Yeah.
Again, it's another good fight that people will want to watch. We're both big blokes too, so like I said, I'll look at fights that interest me. I'm not just going to like solely focus on fighting for the BKFC. I'm going to broaden my horizons, if you like, and go and compete in MMA again and just different avenues. I just want to compete and get.
It sounds to me sort of through chatting to you today, like the MMA is almost, it's like unfinished business there for you.
Absolutely, it is, mate.
Yeah.
I know I can do well in the MMA. Now the way I'm training, like I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to myself if I didn't try again. And I feel like there's big opportunities in the MMA for me as a heavyweight. I think if I can string 2, 3, 4 wins together with Hexagon, who are a big promotion in France, then I'll probably get looked at by a bigger show.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm ever going to get to the UFC or anything, but you've got to aim high with stuff. I'd love to fight in the UFC. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to fight for PFL or someone like that. But fighting for me, like I've got major goals in the sport, whether it be bare knuckle or mixed martial arts. I've got the mindset now where I really want to progress and I want to be a world champion. Like that's my goal. I want to be a world champion, and I think I've got it in me to do it. Before I doubted that. I was just sort of going fight by fight and thinking, yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. But now I truly believe I can make something of it. And the only way I'm going to do it is if I give it a go and try and see what happens with it, mate.
100%, mate. I think you've got to, there's no rerun. Do you know what I mean? What age are you now, Rob? How old are you now?
I'm going to turn 34 next weekend. So I'm young for a heavyweight.
Yeah.
Now's the time to do it. Now's the time to give it a run. I've probably got, in bare knuckle, I'd say I've got 10 years. I reckon 44. I mean, Ben Rothwell's 42. He's still doing it. So
yeah.
But the difference is with me, and I say this all the time, I only started fighting when I was 28. So all these other heavyweights have been doing this a lot longer than me.
Yeah.
And they've got rounds and rounds and rounds on the head. I haven't. I'm fresh. So I look after myself over the next 10 years. I'll still be fighting. And I think I'll still be fighting at a good level. I think I've got to do the MMA because if I want to get signed by a bigger promotion in the MMA, now's the time. I've got to have a run with it. Bare knuckle, I've got a little bit longer. I think the lifespan's a little bit higher. So I'm just going to go with both. I'm going to keep rolling with both, compete in both, and see which big opportunities come my way. I want to fight in America. That's one of the absolute goals to happen. Whether it's bare knuckle or mixed martial arts, I'd love to fight in America.
And so regular as well, BKFC, and not so much in the UK, obviously.
It's huge over there. Yeah.
Oh, mate, yeah, massive.
My manager's based over there. He's a guy called Kevin Smith. He's top boy with BKFC. I think he's been with them since the third show. Very good relationship with David Feldman. They're aware of me. They are aware of me. I called out Ben Rothwell to fight a couple of times. I had conversations with Ben Rothwell a couple of times. I had conversations with the bosses at BKFC about Ben Rothwell a couple of times. My name isn't quite big enough to fight him. I got questioned on that. Why are you calling out Ben Rothwell? What gives you the right to call out Ben Rothwell? Because I want big fights.
I think to be fair, I think to be fair, there's enough there now. You may have started later in life than what a lot of people do, but you've got to be ambitious. You've got to do that. You have to do it. And you're not a nobody off the street. You're fighting at a level, and these are the people that you want to be fighting. You want to test yourself against. Like you say, you want to fight the best.
Exactly. Ben Rothwell's got this huge established background in MMA. He was in the UFC for years and he did very well. But he's only had 2 fights in bare knuckle, BKFC, like I have.
Yeah.
So it's like he was trying to get fights. I said I'd do the fight with him. Now he'll be on mega bucks because he's ex-UFC fighter. He'll be on the big boy money. I said they don't even have to pay me big boy money. Do you know what I mean? I'll do it for. I would like paying a lot more than what I'm getting at the moment, but not like extortionate fees. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna
You want the
like.
opportunity, like more than anything.
Yeah, it's the opportunity to showcase myself.
Yeah.
And like people will think, oh, Rob's not. Who do you think he is? I had a couple of messages asking why I'm doing it, but my response is, well, why not? Like, why not? I want big opportunities. I want to fight these big names, and if no one else is willing to, he's been matched now with Todd Duffy, another ex-UFC fighter. So, but you've got to make him aware of you. You've got like, it's not like I didn't do it off a whim. There was conversations behind the scenes. So then my manager said, get calling him out on social media.
Yeah.
Start making noise. So it's all preempted. It's not like I just woke up one day and thought,
Sure.
oh,
Of course.
I'm going to put a video up calling out Ben Rothwell.
Yeah,
and then people are like, who the fuck does Rob think he is? It's
and you
planned.
said as well, you speak, everything goes, like, you know, you've got your manager, you've got your coach that I know you're like so happy with at the minute in terms of your surrounding and that circle with training and everything else. Obviously, these guys are going to be a massive influence in terms of anything that happens, I'm sure, for yourself moving forward. And
oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know, the advice and the guidance and the experience as well that these guys can bring to the table is invaluable. You know, it's priceless, really.
At the end of the day, the way I see it, like, you get one run at stuff like this. Like, I want to fight. I love fighting. I almost give it up. And if I did, it would have been probably one of the worst decision I've ever made in my life. So I'm just going to keep enjoying it for as long as I can. That's the main thing for me. Just enjoying it. If I don't enjoy it, I won't do it.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I don't care about anything else, mate. Like, anything else, anyone says that's negative, or like I said, people are entitled to their opinion, but it doesn't affect me. I will live my life how I want to live my life. If I want to call out big names to fight, I will call out big names to fight. It's just what I'm going to do. And
it's fine. If you call out big names to fight, and you've got the minerals to turn up there and do the business, then no one can say anything at the end of the day, you know. And you've got to be ambitious, and you have to be, you know, your own biggest fan, don't you? Really, at the end of the day as well. And it sounds to me like obviously you've gone through some really tough times for yourself, you know, both mentally and in terms of the going over to South Africa, going onto the bigger platform. But you've almost like you're magnetized to that platform because BKB is a big platform within the UK, BKFC huge in America, and also huge now because in the UK as well. I mean, a lot without any disrespect to anybody else, because I'll watch bare knuckle fighting. I enjoy it at all levels. You know, I just enjoy it. I love the sport. But yeah, I mean, obviously BKFC, BKB, they're netting all of the best fighters throughout the country, and rightly so, for the right reasons, because of the size of the platform and because of the events they're putting on. You know,
BKB is brilliant as well. I love watching the BKB shows. They've got some really, really good fighters on that show. So it's good to watch different platforms showcasing fighters, and it's just good to have opportunities to fight more and more. They both platforms seem to put on a lot of shows, which is good for the fighters. And there's opportunities there for us to showcase it, and there's plenty of shows for lads to fight on. So yeah, I think it's brilliant. It's good times, and I think it's going to get better and better.
100%, mate. I mean, for me as well, just from that sort of spectator fan point of view as well.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah.
You know, to see these platforms now, you know, that are performing and doing well. And I mean, even you've got like the guys, obviously you've got BKB and BKFC that are the top of the tier, but there's so many other good shows. I know the Olympus 5 coming up at the next weekend. You've got Bad to the Bone.
Bad to the Bone, yeah. Stefan, he's a good guy as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. That's going to be a fantastic event as well in Stoke.
Yeah.
And there's so many now that are coming up. I mean, Simon's last event like to
Look
see
good,
that
man. I
growth
messaged
from
him.
like
Yeah,
first,
look.
and then I'm actually going to take my boy across this week to have a couple of days. Sam and see his family as well because
Oh,
his
nice,
kids
mate.
are off at the minute. But the excitement, and I think he was literally a couple of days after the event, and then he's automatically. And I know there's big things coming for the third event, which
Class.
it's going to be quality. So I love it, mate. I love it on all levels. It's going to be amazing coming to Leeds, see yourself, and obviously the other fights that are on, which the fight card's just immense, and it's immense.
It's like me, mate. First and foremost, I'm a combat sports fan.
Yeah,
I watch it all. Like, I'm addicted to watching the fights on telly as well, like the UFC and the MMA shows, and even regional MMA in the UK. I keep up to date with everything. I know all the fighters coming through, and like even amateurs and stuff. Like,
yeah,
we like in Trident, the gym I train in as well. We've got some top amateurs coming through that gym. Like, all these young fighters coming through. It's great to see. And then obviously the bare knuckle shows, the ones I'm not fighting on, I watch them. I
yeah,
just love watching combat sports, bare
yeah,
knuckle, MMA. If there's a big Thai fight on, I'll watch that. One FC do multiple discipline. Like, I love jiu-jitsu, so I love watching Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well. I'm just addicted to combat sports, and it's great. It's a great time to be a fan of the combat sports because
huge, yeah.
there's so much going on all the time, and it's great. Nearly every weekend you got something to watch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was never like this, but
No,
now, and it's fantastic. I mean, Christian, he's got so much going on going into next year as well. But he's going to be not just going to be doing the pit. He's going to be doing cage fighting. He's going to be doing ring fighting as well with
nice.
Spartan. He's got a new bloods tournament coming through, bringing young heavyweight prospects through. There's all sorts of bits happening and going on, which are pretty. Sorry, mate. Which are pretty
That's right.
fantastic. So it's really exciting as a fan of the sport first and foremost. And I can't, like I say, mate, I can't wait to get there to Leeds as well. It's a short one for me, so it's not too far away for me. So
Class, mate.
but it's going to be outstanding. I'm sure we'll get to see each other at some point that night as well.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well, I'll have a look for you, like, after the fight. I think after it, you have to do like a couple of interviews and stuff. But
Yeah,
I'll have a little. I'll have a little wander around. You'll probably see me before I see you because the size of me, like. So if you spot me,
yeah,
just come and grab us.
no, 100%, mate. And yeah, no, it's going to be. I know it's going to be a cracking event. Just looking forward to it. I feel spoiled at the minute, mate, with everything that's going on. If I'm honest, because there's just so much for people and for fans to be able to see. And
There's
it's a
some
real blessing.
there's some good fights on that Leeds card. I was looking at it the other day, and I think every single match that they've done, and it's a credit to Andy Bakewell, and the matchmakers on the show, because every single fight looks a belter. I don't think
Yeah,
there's a bad fight on it.
no, it looks outstanding, mate. I'm really looking forward to it and seeing like the whole, the whole package basically, really, and what
I'm,
it brings.
I'm going to be walking into the Lions Den as well because I think Aggie told me he sold over 100 tickets and like
Really,
seven tables or something. So that'll be fun.
Nate, do you know what?
It doesn't bother me.
No,
It doesn't faze me. I
the,
don't mind. I don't mind getting booed.
there's guys, mate. Honestly, Tyrone. I did the podcast with him just
I
tonight.
saw that. I saw that fight.
Yeah, I mean, with Tyrone, and I know that he usually goes with nobody. Obviously, he had his uncle, his corner man, but in terms of tickets and things like that, very quite similar, really. And I think there's a lot of fighters um, who don't have the big name, let's
Yeah,
say, who don't have the big name, but they're still going through the same process and everything else. So I think it'd be fantastic if anyone needs tickets for Leeds. Rob, what I can do, mate, is I'll pop in a link into the description so they can get in touch and get
yeah,
tickets.
nice
The
one, mate.
event
Appreciate that.
itself, man, is going to be unbelievable. I know it's going to be huge. I mean, if you know, like I don't want to think it out of way because I know how much of a battle it is that's upcoming. But if you can go through leagues with 3-0 with a BKFC, you're knocking doors, mate. There, big time. And
I've got to be, mate. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
you can't be ignored, can you? That's the thing, you know.
no, I think if I get to 3-0 with the BKFC, I think they give Danny Christie a British title fight at 3-0. So I'm not saying I'll get that, but I must be close. Like, caliber opponent. He fought Teddy Brazier very good. Then he knocked Darren Godfrey out, and then he beat Andy Holmes. So he's fought some good guys, Danny. Maybe the caliber of opponent I fought isn't quite as high as his. So maybe I'd need one or two more.
At the end of the day, you can only fight what's put in front of you, and
exactly, mate. Yeah,
like you said before, you know, you'd had so many disappointments with fighters dropping out and bits and pieces. So obviously, you just get in there and you do your thing and do the business. And
I've got a good one this time, which I'm happy about. So,
oh, damn right, yeah.
It's put a smile on my face actually having a really, really like top opponent. It gets me motivated and it makes me want to really like. I love testing myself. Like I thrive off testing myself, and I know this is going to be like a test, but it's a test that I know I can pass as well. So, bring it on. I can't wait.
Absolutely, mate, and I'm really pleased, sort of taking the bare knuckle to a side as well, that you're in a really good place now as well.
Thank you,
you know, obviously with your partner, and again, mate, I hope everything comes through in terms of the house. I will show the clip that, you know, with the flood.
Yeah, by all means, mate. Like fucking nightmare. Yeah, so I've never been through something like that before. It was just horrible, mate. Like seeing her upset, and they evacuated most of the street, mate. Like literally, we stayed because my dog's quite not quite, very reactive. He's got behaviour issues. Didn't get treated very well when he was at a breeder when we got him and stuff. So he doesn't like people. He doesn't like other dogs. So we're like, we're evacuating everyone to the pub down the road. This is the fire service. I was like, I'm not going. Like, well, you should. And I was like, I'm not going. I'm not leaving my dog. And they were like, just put the dog upstairs. I went, no. Yeah. What if my house floods? I'm not leaving my dog in the house.
Yeah. It's like, if needs be, we all go upstairs. That type of.
That's what we did, mate.
Yeah.
I switched the electric off and I went upstairs. Like, and just waited to see what it was like in the morning. It was a fucking state. Oh, it was,
I know.
But we got it sorted within, I'd say 48 hours, I think, ish. And then it's just waiting for the damage they've got to come out. What I'm worried about is because we've cleaned it up well now, that they'll sort of go, well, it doesn't look like it's flooded, so we're not going to pay out. But there's still damage to stuff, so I've got videos and pictures to prove it.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, like, they can't deny what's they're evacuating, and the entire house is what it looked on the video at least a foot and a half, 2 foot deep. To be fair,
it was, mate. Outside, it was. I'm 6'4", 5", and outside in the street it was up to my knee in the water.
It's crazy.
And then inside it was over my ankle in the house. So it's like, well, it's higher than that. It was halfway up my shin.
Yeah.
And then, so like at the end of the day, like we've told the insurance, we had to make the house livable. Like my missus works from home full time, so we can't just leave it how it was and wait for you to come out. We've got to fucking tidy it up because we would have got ill. Like it would have just made everything worse. The floor looks all right, but I can guarantee if they lift them floorboards out, it's going to be moist. It's going to be damp under there, and
you might not. That might not become apparent until 18 months, 2 years down the line. As well. So no, 100%. But mate, I hope all of that gets sorted for you. For you both anyway. And
me too, mate. Not ideal in the middle of a camp, and not ideal right before Christmas, but can't change it, mate. Just got to see how we get on with it. definitely gone higher.
Mate, sometimes these things come to test you in life, and it's always
Exactly,
at the
mate,
time that you don't want it, and the worst possible times. But you'll get through it, mate. It's one of them. It's a rough one, but I'm sure you'll be able to overcome it. But I just hope it's a quick and easy process, because that's the biggest thing. And sometimes it's drawn out, and but. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, Rob.
No, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Who is there anyone that you want to give a shout? Obviously, you say Titan Gym. Sorry, is it that you're at now?
Sorry. So I train at Trident Mixed Martial Arts. So there's too many people to name. So I'll just name the basics. So all the coaches and all the training partners there. Aspinalls, Team Aspinalls as well. All my training partners and coaches there. Obviously my missus, my family, my friends, my sponsors. I've got Flow Fightwear, Therapy with Rob, Good to Go Recovery, Global Green, CBD, Chris Redmond Coaching, KOB Promotions, big sponsor of mine as well. I'm bad with this. I think that's it sponsor wise. Yeah.
If there's anybody missed, it's not.
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's a lot to remember. And thank you, James, for having me on as well.
No, mate, an absolute
thank you very
pleasure.
much.
An absolute pleasure. I really look forward to seeing you at Leeds, and I hope we can talk again at some point soon. And
yeah, of course, yeah, we can. We can always do another one every year or something. Or
a big thank you as well for the biggest thing for me with these podcasts is it's about being real, and it's about people opening up and telling a story, and hopefully, like I said earlier, that helps other people as well that might be going through a difficult time, or these things are never straightforward, and mental health is probably one of the most misunderstood things going. And a lot of people suffer, but there's so many fighters that come on here and speak openly and talk about it, and it's about spreading that message and the awareness. And
it's good to talk, mate. It's good to talk about it.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I urge anybody that's going through any sort of difficulties just to speak up and talk. And there's so many people that have said, if you're struggling, and there's any problems, just get in touch, message someone. If you've not got family members or friends, or if you're struggling to share that with them, there's plenty of people out there. Randy's Man Club's one. If you're in a really, really bad place, always pick up the phone and speak to somebody, 100% people, because it's happening all the time, and it's tragic,
It is.
But mate, massive, massive thank you, Rob. And
thank you.
We'll look forward to catching up really, really soon. All the best, mate, for the rest of the camp, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Spot on. Yeah, 3 weeks yesterday, so
3 weeks yesterday.
Getting close. But thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it, buddy.
Pleasure, bro. All the best, mate, and we'll see you soon.
Nice one, James.